All right, well, good evening, everyone. This is John McAdams from the Big Game Hunting Podcast coming to you live from South Africa. It is the last night of an amazing hunt I've spent here on the last, 10 days. I just lose track of how long I've been here because I've been having so much fun. But I was joined by 3 podcast listeners on this trip. A 4th one was supposed to join us, but things didn't quite work out for him, and we sorely missed his presence. But that said, we had a great time. So I'll just go around the campfire here. We are literally sitting around the campfire after our last night of hunting, and it came down to literally the wire. Dave got the last animal he was looking for this evening and to wrap up a great hunt. So I'm joined by podcast listeners Dave, Chris, Steve, and then with the amazing group of people we have here facilitating and hosting this hunt, we have Christian, we have Izaak, we have Tion, we have Philemon, Kubis, Bertus, and Johan all here with us this evening. My son James also joined us on this hunt, but it is getting late and he has had to retire for the evening, but he also had the time of his life on this trip. And as the host, I'll take my prerogative and I'll have 2 memorable moments for this trip, one for me and one for him. I'll share my first one now and the second one as it comes back around the horn. But for me, the first really awesome moment of this hunt was being with Chris right at the beginning of the hunt. He got there, just kind of had that look a lot of guys have on that first day of their first trip to Africa. They're like, wow, this is a lot. I didn't quite know what I was getting into here, but there's so many animals. This is just trying to figure it out. And I had the privilege of joining him the afternoon of his first day on a hunt led by Christian on a hunt for a red hartebeest. And we chased these hartebeest around for a couple hours, found a herd with a really nice one in it. And they were, Christian, 400 or 500 yards away, something like that when we started making our stalk.
In the beginning, yes.
Yeah. And then we were on one rise. They were on the next rise. We dropped down into the empty space between us that was just full of bushes and trees and everything. And we proceeded to stalk for the next 30, 45 minutes through all that, sometimes to the point of crawling on our hands and knees to get closer. And as we got to that next rise where we thought they would be, Christian crawled over there, peeked over the top, said they're right there, right where we left them. And then Chris and I crawled up there with him, got into a prone position. He was ready to go and then had to wait for Lord only knows how long before you finally got a clear shot on one. There was other ones in the way and we had to wait for him to turn on all that, but it all turned out great. Got your first animal in the salt, first big game animal like that with a serious set of horns on it. First African animal, great way to start the hunt. And I shot plenty of stuff myself on this hunt, but that was one of the most fun memories for me on that hunt was joining you on that. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Dave, and he's going to talk about some of the memorable points from the hunt from his perspective.
Yeah, so I unfortunately only can talk about one, but I have so many. So I have to talk about my Inyala, which was the number one animal that I came over to hopefully take. And I had the privilege of hunting with Bertus for the week, and we were going down the road. He says, "There's your Inyala." And I'm looking and I say, "Where?" It was in some really, really thick stuff. So we stopped, we get out. He says, "Look, your rifle is not going to make it through this stuff. Do you want to shoot it with my double? My 470 Nitro Express double?" And I said, "Well, yeah." So we got all set up. The Inyala walked a couple of more steps. I shot him with the double, and he went from 3 feet to 0 feet in no seconds. Absolutely awesome experience, and I can't relive it every day.
And that was definitely a part of the hunt. You got a whole lot more than you bargained for out of that. No one had any idea that there was going to be any double rifle involved in it, much less that you would kill an animal with it on this hunt either.
110%.
Very, very good. Well, Chris, what say you about your hunt?
The hartebeest hunt was great, but I'd have to say my buffalo hunt I went on was the whole deal. We got to go through the thick stuff. We got torn up by thorns. It seems like they wanted to keep you held back from getting your animal. We got up on him. Johan was there telling me to put it on the shoulder and take a shot, and I did, and we harvested a great buffalo.
Tell us a little bit more about what happened after you made your first shot on that buffalo.
After we made the first shot, the herd came in on the buffalo and started mauling them. And then we made the second shot, and we heard the death bellow, and we knew it was done. But then we had a Mexican standoff with the rest of the herd for about 25, 30 minutes.
So you made a great first shot on that buffalo, literally straight through the heart. I'll share a picture of it, but I mean, you can't ask for any better performance on that. And he stayed on his feet for a little bit after that. And then you got like a National Geographic type experience after you made that shot on it.
Definitely.
Yeah, the full meal deal indeed. That was really cool. I wish I could have been there with you for that, but fortunately Saki was, and I am greatly looking forward to seeing that part of the video.
Me too.
So this is Steve, and I would say probably the most memorable, I hate to pick just one because all the hunts were so good. There's different memories for each one, but I would say probably the one that I really liked the most was a mountain reed buck, which I didn't even have on my list, wasn't even really familiar. I was able to get a black wildebeest down first, and the guys had seen this mountain reed buck. We were in the Free State, and it was a lot of fun because John was with me on the stalk, Christian, Saki, Philemon, and we climbed halfway up this mountain. I don't know how far we went, but we went a ways up this mountain. Christian was able to see him. It was a ram and a doe had bedded down, and we had to move several times to be able to get into a position to shoot. Was able to get prone. Philemon said, I'm going to whistle when you're ready. Tell me when you're ready, and we're going to get him up by whistling at him. He did. They jumped up and actually ran to the right, and it took me a few seconds to get back on him, but he stopped. Perfect broadside shot. Then Christian and Philemon went on quite the recovery mission to get him out of there. Luckily, it wasn't too big of a animal, but beautiful, beautiful mountain reed buck that we were able to take.
Just look at the front of it, make sure the numbers are still counting down or counting up on it.
Yeah. All right. Hello, I'm Christian. On this trip, I had the opportunity to hunt an animal with each and every one of you guys. It started on the first day with John with a fall rebuck, and that was actually my first time I've ever hunted fall rebuck in my life successfully. And luckily, we got a very big male on the first afternoon. At first, we struggled a little bit, but luckily they started moving, and we found a big male, made a quick stalk, shot him at I think exactly 200 yards. Yeah, and that was the first day. And then the second day, me and Uncle Steve, he started this morning with a black wildebeest. He shot it with Cobus, and then the mountain reedbuck with me, and then he shot a zebra with Bertus. And then me and Uncle Chris, we shot the red hartebeest the next day. And then when we came to Limpopo, me and Uncle Dave shot kudu on the first day. So I had the opportunity to hunt something with each and every one of these gentlemen, and I would say it was quite good and it was quite fun. Oh, thank you.
Hi, I'm Saki. Also, actually, Izaak, known as Saki in the camp. I've been doing these hunts now for a couple of years. This is now the second podcast hunt I'm doing, meeting interesting people from all over the states. And it's difficult to do specifically highlight or bring out a specific highlight. I'll say the main thing for me that stands out is for experiencing people from the States, experiencing Africa for the first time. I'll say that's one special thing. Experiencing from the other point of view, not carrying a rifle, but carrying a post box on a stick actually, but through the bush and experiencing everybody's how they get their animals and how they experiencing from their point of view.
I pause on. See.
So Philemon, just talk briefly.
Tell us what you like.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Philemon. First thing,
I think I did well in this hunt. I can't mention name, but I think I did well in this hunt, and I thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. You believe in me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Chris. I hunted a little bit with Steve, a little bit with Chris. We shot a really nice black wildebeest and a mountain zebra. To me, there's no really specific highlight. The whole hunt was just one great experience, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. That's all I can say. Thank you. Barkus.
Hi, good day. Yes, I can just say thank you very much, guys, for coming through and enjoying this. It's really, really fun hunting with you guys. I would say, I've got two moments. It's that beautiful Nyala of Dave with the double and that Impala with Steve. That was a good long stalk and beautiful hunt, and the rest of the hunt went perfectly. Worked hard for that wildebeest, and it all paid off at the end. Thank you very much, guys.
Guys, it's Johan. So, I've got two moments. The entire hunt was quite memorable, but there were definitely two moments. One was when me and John were looking for eland in the mountains, and we went through this big ravine with Saki. And when I made it up the ravine, and I told Christian, yes, I think there's a big bull here. And about 2 minutes later, it came out the radio in Afrikaans. Johan, please don't shoot this eland there. So I just went on the radio, Christian, you have to deal with it. And it was silent, and another 2 minutes later, Johan, please don't shoot that eland up there. I just ignored him, and I could feel Christian's sweat all the way back 3 kilometers in his bakkie. That was quite memorable. We didn't shoot the eland, lucky for Christian. I would have shot it if I got it, just for the record. And then the second memorable moment was obviously a buffalo is always something special. But the Mexican standoff was something we haven't had in a long time. And after explicit comments in every single language I know, Philemon knows, Chris knows, and Saki knows, the buffalo finally decided to leave. But that was very, very, very memorable, and I think we caught it all on camera. So Saki will do some editing around the Portuguese and French. And after that, it's just a thank you to everybody for coming. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It's always fun getting a lot of guys from everywhere together and making things work. John, land it back to you.
So as some of the guys mentioned, hunted in a pretty diverse variety of habitat on this hunt. We started off the hunt in the Free State, which is higher elevation. It's more open country, oftentimes steeper country. And then we spent, I guess, about 3 days there. Then we moved to Limpopo for the rest of the hunt. Limpopo is very flat, much more thickly vegetated. And so while in the Free State, in many cases, it was easier to spot game. It was not always easy to get within shooting range of game. And there were some game that we could have shot that we had to pass on just because, like Johan alluded to, the recovery would have been just too brutal. And in those cases, it was either impossible to do or it would have taken an inordinate amount of time. Whereas in Limpopo, there were many situations where we were within 50, within 30, sometimes within 10 yards of game that we couldn't shoot because we didn't have a clear shot on it. Sometimes you could hear it breathing, hear it snorting, hear the animals moving around, maybe catch a glimpse of them through the bush, but just did not have a clear shot on it. So completely different set of problems that we had to deal with here, and different challenges, different ways of hunting. The animals were different in each place as well. Like Steve mentioned, he shot a mountain reed buck, and but they called it a stairway halfway to heaven in the Free State. And we climbed up that thing, and it was not the sort of terrain that a lot of people think about when they picture hunting in South Africa. Things were similar on my evolved reed buck hunt on the very first day of the trip, and that was a lot of fun, very memorable. But that was not didn't even do the top 3. It makes the top 3, but not the top 2. Really, for me, the number one part of the hunt, when I was with my son James, when he shot his first big game animal, and he shot a young impala ram yesterday. We worked really hard for a couple of days to get him on it, but Philemon was much too modest earlier when he was saying he thinks that he did a good job, because the fact of the matter is he did an outstanding job over the course of the entire hunt in several different roles, but to include this one here with my son James and I. He was very patient and did a good job of helping us find some impala, and then got James set up on the sticks. He made a good 50-yard shot on a impala ram in a thicket right through just a narrow window, made a good shot. And then Philemon was so kind to crawl in there and drag the impala out when all was said and done. And Philemon also led me on a couple mile-long stalk following a bird of blue wildebeest yesterday morning, just going off of their tracks, and we finally caught up to him, and I made a good shot on a wildebeest yesterday. So Philemon is a good example of a guy that really embodies a lot of the things that are good stereotypes of an African tracker, where it just looks like he's going through a walk in the woods, but he's very diligently staying on the track of something. And after a long enough period of time, boom, there you are on the wildebeest or the impala or whatever it is you were on the trail of. And so it's really fun to experience, really fun to watch. And so Philemon, A+ job on the whole hunt. It's always a pleasure to hunt with you and to work with you. And I greatly appreciate your assistance with James yesterday. So as we wrap up, I'm going to pass it back over to Dave, Chris, and Steve. And Steve, when you're done, just hand it back to me and I'll close out. But I want you guys to briefly describe what you guys were looking for in this hunt, what your goals were, and then how things matched up with what you were hoping for or wishing for at the beginning of the hunt, now that really the whole hunt is in the rearview mirror. So Dave, we'll start with you.
All right. So I had never really thought about hunting in Africa. I've hunted in many, many places over the years, but I never thought about it much until I started listening to John's podcast about 3.5 years ago. And he did a couple of Africa series, which was really interesting. And then he did the podcast hunt in 23. And he said, after that podcast hunt, if anybody's interested, I might do one in 25. Why don't you email me? And I will let you know if I decide to do one. Well, lo and behold, he did email me. And I said, yes, I would love to go on a hunt. So it was an incredible experience. I hoped it was going to be a good experience, and it far, far exceeded that, with everybody in camp, from the other hunters to everybody here, Cog and Seifert. It's just an incredible place. So I thank everybody for that. The animals are wonderful. They're big animals. If you hunt and you look for big animals, the last 3 days, Bertus and I have been looking for a big bull blue wildebeest, and we got him with 10 minutes left tonight on the last night. Incredible. And the last thing that was just amazing to me, I'm going to go back to Philemon as well. We were on about an hour-long stalk for blue wildebeest 2 days ago. And just like John said, it almost looks like Philemon's just taking a nice little stroll through the woods for an hour, but we hit them twice, and he walked right to them twice. It was very, very amazing. So I thank you for that, Philemon.
Well, I just want to say thanks to everybody, the staff, the PHs. I had a great time. There was nothing. I didn't know what I was getting into when I came over. I didn't know anybody, and I had a great time. And I would suggest anybody if they have a chance, follow on with Company Seifert. It's a great company, a great group of people, and you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, I'd never really thought about hunting Africa until about 3 years ago, and one of my friends came over just on a sightseeing safari and came home and was telling me about all the animals he saw, and I got interested, and I love to hunt, and I thought to be able to see it and go hunt at the same time would be amazing. I started listening to different podcasts, found John's podcast, listened to every episode about Africa that he had on there, and actually did not get signed up in time for originally on the podcast hunt, but there was a gentleman unable to come, and I was able to get that spot. And a lot of my friends would ask, who are you going to Africa with? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know any of them. And they're like, you're crazy going halfway around the world and not knowing anybody. But just to experience the two different locations, the Free State and Limpopo, and getting to see the diversity, I got to give Philemon a big shout out. I got to hunt with everybody, but on the first day, I was like, this guy has built-in binoculars. I've never seen anybody spot game like he does. But the hunts were all amazing, but the friendship that we made, the laughs we've had, that's just as good as the hunting. And we're already talking about getting together at Safari Club in Nashville next year. So great time, and John made the whole process extremely easy. So thank you.
Well, I am really glad that we were able to pull off this hunt, get everyone here together. You know, I always feel like every time I leave Africa, I'm like, man, the trip always ends too soon. When am I going to be able to come back? And that's how I felt when I was sitting right here in camp almost exactly 2 years ago on the last hunt. I was like, I got to do another one of these. The 2023 hunt was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed hunting with Mike and Fernando. And I was thinking to myself, man, I hope we get another good group of guys. I hope it wasn't just a fluke that they were nice guys and we had a lot of fun together. But either that wasn't a fluke or lightning struck twice in a row, because I had a great time with you guys on this hunt as well. And I'm glad that the sentiment was mutual, and that the hunt was everything that you wanted and more out of it. So I'll pass the recorder back around the fire in the opposite direction. Let everyone sign off. And if you want to, share one concluding thought if you have one.
Yeah, guys, it's Johan again, opposite side. Concluding thoughts. I think you need to realize that if you get the chance to come to Africa, I'm not saying necessarily with us. I mean, there's extremely good other guys out there. I know it's a business and stuff, but you should take that chance. Africa won't be here forever like it is at this very moment. Everybody always says that. But if you get that chance to come, seriously consider, even if you save up for it, you should do it. Time is what do you call it? The commodity that we don't have a lot of, and the human body is frail. You never know what happens tomorrow. So if you get that chance and you can take it, don't hesitate. Do it while you're young, while you can really enjoy it physically. And that's my conclusion for this.
I would just like to thank everybody. It's Bertus again, sorry. Thank you for coming through and enjoying it. I really, really hope you guys made some memories that will last your entire lifetime. And I hope to see you guys again.
Well, like they say, everybody come here as clients, but we leave as friends. And thank everybody. Like, again, hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and looking forward to the next one.
It's Philemon again. I will start with the client. Dave, Chris, Steve, thank you very much for everything. And John, thank you very much for everything. And then I will start with Christian. Saki, Jan, Thomas, Bertus, Mr. Yuan. Thank you very much. It was a successful hunt. Thank you.
Saki, again, it's a great pleasure to work with a team. As Chris said, we got here as almost strangers, leaving as good friends, and we hope to see you soon again.
Right, Christian here. Yeah, I mean, coming halfway around the world, if only you've only listened to on the internet, that really, it takes a lot to do that. So thank you guys for coming, and it was an absolute blast hunting with you guys and getting to know you. And I mean, I would say in the last few days, we've become friends, and I'm glad you guys took that step to come to Africa. And I mean, it is a risk taking. You never know what's a scam or what's not. But I must say, this one is not a scam. As you saw, it was fun. Everything turned out quite good, and I'm glad you guys came. So yeah, thank you all. It was really, really fun. Thank you for that.
Steve again. I kind of want to echo what the other guys have said. Like Johan said, don't wait. If you've ever thought about coming to Africa, just do it. You never know what life's going to give you, so take advantage of it while you can. And just to your entire staff, Johan and Kubis, all the guys, thank you for making great memories.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thanks, John, for putting this on. I had a great time. I know everybody here had a great time. We met new friends. And thank you very much.
And it's David again, and I'm the old guy in the group. I'm 62. I can tell you, if I can do this, anybody can do this. You really should, if you've had any thought about it. Fantastic, fantastic trip. And I venture to say it won't be my last.
Well, very, very good, guys. I appreciate you all taking the time on this last evening for us to sit around the campfire and share a few stories. I enjoyed the hunt, and I think this is a great way to wrap it up. To those listening, Napoleon had a saying that he told his subordinates. He says, "You may ask me for anything except time, for I have none to give you." You only get so many trips around the sun, and over the last few days, I've been reminiscing with Johan and Kubis and Christian in particular about some of our past clients that we've had over the years. I've sent guys on hunts over here for over 10 years now. And we are reaching the point now where some of them had a hunt with us and they've since passed away. And there were a few people that went on hunts with or booked hunts with us that passed away before they could make that hunt happen. So like I said earlier, and some of these other guys said, you only have so much time. If this is something that you want to do your best to make it happen, because tomorrow is not a guarantee. Next year is not a guarantee. Not even tomorrow is a guarantee. That's a great that can set you up with a great hunt. We have a great outfit here, and we had a wonderful time together, and we would love to help you make that dream come true. Learn more about what we have at bestsafarihunt.com. I will be publishing a video about this hunt, like we referenced, once Saki is done editing it, and I'll put it on YouTube, and I'll share the link to it, and I will do another detailed recap of this episode later once we're back home. But I hope you enjoyed this preliminary recap and the campfire discussion. That will do it for this episode. Remember, you can make your dream hunt turn into a reality, and we can help. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here next time on the Big Game Hunting Podcast.